Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today, we'll be looking at some other set of words that would help us in our daily vocabulary or even in GMAT, SATs, and multiple other exams. Now, let's see what's this word right here. The word is erstwhile. Erstwhile means a former or a belonging to some prior time. If something is belonging to the ancient times, or if something belongs to a time which existed before our current century or before the current year, right? We would call such a thing as erstwhile. So, in short, we can say erstwhile means former, right? Former means the previous one, right? For example, if there are two people, okay, and I ask you which one of these is your friend, this one or that one. So you'll be like the former one. Former one means the one I talked about first. Okay, like you want to say the previous one, the one you previously talked about, yeah, that one, right? So that is former. Now let's look at these examples. He is married to Tina Brown. Okay, so there is this man, he's married to Tina Brown, the erstwhile editor of Vanity Fair. Erstwhile editor, the former editor of Vanity Fair, the person who was editor of Vanity Fair previously. She's not the editor anymore, okay, but she was the erstwhile editor. Okay. She is the erstwhile editor. That means she used to be the editor of Vanity Fair. She's not any. My erstwhile friend ignored me when I ran into her at the mall. Ran into her, accidentally met her, right, at the mall. Sometimes it happens, no? You meet a friend or maybe, maybe an old acquaintance, someone who used to be a friend but is no more a friend, right? So if you meet such a person, either they say hi and everything, how are you? They get excited, but sometimes they just ignore you, right? And sometimes you also ignore them. So who are those friends? They are your erstwhile friends. That means they are your former friends. They are no more your friends. Okay. Erstwhile workers may have become managers. People who were former workers, who were previously workers, they have become managers now, right? So erstwhile workers, erstwhile friend, erstwhile editor, right? Former editor. Okay, as you can see in this picture here, shows you something that belongs to the old times, right? So this is an erstwhile picture, right? This picture shows an erstwhile era, okay? Former era. All right, let's look at our next word. Estrange. Now, estrange means to cause someone to be no longer on friendly terms with someone else. Okay. So if you are, really good friends with someone, but now because of certain reasons, you are not on friendly terms. Maybe you guys had some fight over money or maybe some other issue, but you guys are not friends. So what have you guys become? You guys are estranged. Her lifestyle estranged her from her parents. Now, certain lifestyles in today's century, in today's world, our lifestyle is so hectic that we have become, we are going further and further away from our parents, from our families, right? We are just becoming engrossed in work, right? So her lifestyle was of such a kind that she became estranged. That means she was no more friendly with her parents. She was distant. Okay, so estranged can also be remembered as becoming a stranger to someone, right? And what do we do with strangers? We are distant from them. You're not friendly with them, right? So estrange can be remembered as being stranger with someone, being distant with someone. You can see there's a family in this picture, right? And the father has been torn off the picture. So that means he has become estranged. Yeah, he has been, casted off the family. He's away from the family now. Cultural changes can estrange the reader from old texts. Okay. So changes in cultures can cause the readers to go away, to drift away from the old text. He has consistently denied murdering his estranged wife. Estranged wife, a wife with whom he was not on friendly terms. He was, maybe having a fight over something with her, but she got murdered, right? And of course, if you are going on, if a fight is going on with someone and that person dies, so the first few ones to be convicted would be the ones who were having a fight with that person, right? So, yeah, that's why he was charged of murder, but he constantly denied. So, estrange, to cause someone to be no longer on friendly terms with someone else, right? Okay, let's look at our next word. Euphoric, right? Now, must have heard of the band Euphoria. Euphoric means a feeling of extreme happiness or confidence. So, if you are at that stage in life where you're so happy and nothing can bring you down, you're so happy. So that feeling is called a feeling of euphoria, or you can define yourself as euphoric, right? So scientists are euphoric at the success of the test. The test went so good that the scientists are like they're so ecstatic and they are extremely happy, or you can also say they're confident about the success of the test. The laughter erupting from my throat sounds so euphoric, I don't recognize it as mine, right? Sometimes you're so happy that you laugh out loud, those bursts of laughter, and suddenly you realize that's not my laugh because I've never been this happy, right? So, yeah, that laughter erupting from my throat sounds euphoric, sounds extremely happy. My euphoric mood could not last. That means my mood of extreme happiness could not last, right? So euphoric means a person is extremely happy or confident. It's a feeling, right? All right. Let's see our next word. Evanescent. Now, it means something that is lasting for only a short time and then it disappears quickly, right? For example, we can say thunder, right? Have you seen a thunderstorm, like, or maybe lightning in the sky? When there is lightning and thunder, you see the lightning comes in the sky and suddenly vanishes, it's there and then it's not. It lasts for a very short time and then it disappears quickly, right? So let's see how we can use this word. Talk is evanescent. Writing leaves footprints. So talk is something that can disappear quickly in terms of effect, right? Effect of conversations might disappear, but if you leave something in writing, that written text would stay forever, right? Maria guided her to what is eternal and evanescent in life. That means Maria told her what would stay forever and what would stay for a short time and disappear quickly in your life. For a moment, she wondered, but the trouble was evanescent. Like for a moment, she thought about her trouble, but the trouble, disappeared quickly from her mind. It lasted for a very short time and then suddenly it disappeared from her mind, right? So, evanescence, something that lasts for very short time and then disappears quickly, right? Okay. Our next word, evasive. Now, evasive means answering questions in a way that is not clear or simply avoiding someone. You must have heard the word evade, right? That means to escape. So someone who avoids others, someone who is always trying to escape from situations, from questions, from conversations, right? From being encountered. Such people can be described as being evasive, right? Or someone who answers questions in a way that's not very clear, right? Tessa was evasive about why she had not been at home that night. That means people kept asking Tessa, why were you not at home that night? And she kept dodging that question, right? She was answering in a very unclear manner. The pilot had to take evasive action to avoid the other plane, right? Evasive action means an action that was done to avoid something else. So he was trying to avoid the other plane. So his action would be termed as evasive action, right? Okay. He was evasive about the outcome of his first meeting with Dean. That means he was evasive means he was trying to avoid what would be the result of his first meeting with the Dean. All right. So he was evasive of the outcome of the result. So evasive means to avoid something or to answer in such a manner that your answer is not very clear. Explanations are not clear. Okay. All right. Exacerbate. Now, this word actually is a synonym for, you can say, aggravate, right? To make something that is already bad even worse. For example, this person, she's having a cold, right? Now, if her cold worsens, becomes more severe, right? Becomes worse, what would I say? That her cold has exacerbated, right? So her cold has exacerbated. Now, to make something that is already bad even worse is exacerbate. Her allergy was exacerbated by the dust. That means whenever she'll be, whenever dust comes in contact with her, she would instantly start sneezing or coughing, and her allergies would be set on, right? Unfortunately, their efforts typically exacerbate the problem. Their efforts were not really solving the problem, they were worsening the problem. Okay. Poor housing and an absence of support exacerbate their problems. So, because of these two reasons, their problems worsened, right? So, you can say exacerbate, aggravated a problem, or worsen a problem further. Okay. All right. That is excessive. Our next word, exacting. Now, exacting means something that is demanding a lot of effort, care, or attention. Anything that is exacting is going to demand a lot of attention from you, a lot of hard work from the other person. So things which are exacting are very, you can say, draining of time, of energy. They need a lot of energy from your side, a lot of dedication, effort, care, right? So exacting means demanding a lot of effort, care, or attention. His work was so exacting that by the end of the day, he was worn out. Worn out, he was extremely tired, right? His work was so demanding of effort, attention, that by the end of the day, he was extremely tired. Parenting is a difficult and exacting job. That means parenting is difficult, but it also demands a lot of effort, care, attention, as all those who are parents already know. And we as children also have seen how exacting it is for our parents to, raise us. Only a few applicants meet our very exacting standards. Exacting standards which demand a lot of effort from the other person's side, right? So exacting, something that demands a lot of effort, care, or attention, and that it can ultimately leave you worn out, right? All right. Now let's see this word, exigent. Exigent means needing urgent attention or demanding too much. Now, exigent is somewhat like our previous word, exacting. They both start from EX, right? So you can remember it like this: anything that's demanding a lot of attention and can leave you tired is exacting. Anything that demands urgent attention or demands too much attention is exigent. Exigent circumstances means that the officers must act quickly. These circumstances require urgent attention, right? For example, this place which is filled with, garbage, filth. So this demands urgent attention. Okay, so this circumstance is exigent. The exigent political issue of the hour was the currency question. I think that I think that is a very exigent requirement indeed. Exigent, that requirement demands too much. Okay. It needs excessive attention, right? Okay. So that is exigent. All right, must have heard this word a lot. Exotic, right? Exotic means anything that is originating in or a characteristic of a distant foreign country. If an item belongs to a country that is far, far away from yours, some distant foreign country, and that thing has been imported to your country, right? So that means that product is exotic. Okay. So let's say if we don't find avocado here and it's coming from some other country, so we'll call avocado as an exotic fruit, right? So anything that is originating in a distant country, distant foreign country, or anything that has the characteristics of a distant foreign country. Exotic foods are freely available in supermarkets. Nowadays, you see a lot of fruits and vegetables which are not grown in India, but they are still available in supermarkets, right? So, such foods are called exotic foods. The trade in exotic birds is barbarous and inhumane. People are trading birds, animals which are exotic, right? That means they are bringing animals from other countries, distant countries, into India, or taking our animals to some other countries, right? Or our birds in some other countries. Or, for example, we see many beautiful birds in India, which, they do not belong to India. They're exotic birds. And it is barbarous and inhuman. It's so cruel to bring an animal from its natural habitat to some place that is not his or her or its home, right? I don't really like referring to animals as its. So, yeah. She travels to all kinds of exotic locations all over the world, right? All kinds of exotic locations, all kind of places that are distant from that person's original country, right? So exotic, something that is originating in a different country, distant foreign country, or something that has the characteristics of a distant foreign country, right? Okay. You can see these beautiful fruits, right? Looks like this is lychee, this is, yes, jackfruit, right? So all these are exotic fruits. They are not found in India. Okay. Now, our next word, expedient. Expedient means being helpful in a particular situation, but not morally acceptable. We thought it expedient not to pay the builder until the work is over. Okay. Now, we thought that it would be, it would be great if you pay the workers, but until the work is not complete, shouldn't have paid the builder, right? And they did not. They did not pay the builder. They planned that we will not pay the builder until the work is over. So it's helpful, but it's not a good thing. Like it's okay if you pay them early, but since we are seeing a lot of scams happening, so it's good to be safe. It would not be politically expedient to propose new fees, right? So it would not be morally acceptable if someone proposes new fees. He said what he thought, not what was expedient. So this person, he just said what he thought. He was not trying to be, morally acceptable or anything. Okay. So expedient, helpful in a particular situation, but not morally acceptable. Now, time to revise. Expedient, being helpful in a particular situation, but not morally acceptable. For example, we thought it expedient not to pay the builder until the work is over, right? So this is something that's not morally acceptable, but yeah, people do that a lot, right? Okay. Then was exotic. Anything that originated in a foreign country or has the characteristics of a distant foreign country, right? Fruits, vegetables, animals, birds could be exotic, right? Exigent, anything that needs urgent attention or demands too much attention, right, is called as exigent. Any situation that wants you to focus on it a lot, care about it, work on it is exigent. For example, this situation right here in the picture seems to need urgent attention. That's why it's an exigent circumstance. Exacting. Any work which demands a lot of effort, care, or attention, kind of leaves you worn out, is called as exacting, right? His work was so exacting that by the end of the day, he was worn out. He was tired because the work demanded a lot of effort and care. Exacerbate, to make something worse, something which was already bad, if it gets worse, then that thing has exacerbated, right? Her allergy was exacerbated by the dust. That means she was already having allergies, and because of dust, it worsened, right? Evasive, answering the questions someone has asked in such a way that it is not clear, like the other person doesn't understand what you're saying, or you're trying to avoid something, right? For example, Tessa was evasive about this question. Everyone was asking her, why were you not at home that day? Why were you not at home? So she didn't have any clear answer and she tried to kept avoiding that question, right? So that is evasive, right? Evanescent, something that lasts for only a short time and then disappears quickly. For example, lightning in the sky, you see it for a short period of time, and then suddenly it just disappears. You never get to know when it was there, right? Euphoric, it is a feeling of extreme happiness or confidence, just like this girl. All euphoric, right? She's feeling extremely happy, maybe confident too. Scientists are euphoric at success of the test. That means the test was successful and they're extremely happy. So euphoric, a feeling of euphoria, or you are euphoric. Estrange. Estrange, you can remember becoming a stranger is estranged. So when someone becomes a stranger, they become distant. They are not friendly with us, right? So to cause someone to be no longer on friendly terms with someone, that is estranged. To become distant from someone, to not have the same bond with someone. For example, the father in this family has now been estranged, right? They are no more a part of this family. Okay, or her lifestyle estranged her, made her distant from her parents, right? All right. Erstwhile, anything that relates to the prior time, or you can say it's a substitute for the word former. Former means previous, right? For example, he's married to Tina Brown, the erstwhile editor of Vanity Fair. Erstwhile editor, the person who was previously the editor of Vanity Fair. In the prior time, Tina Brown was the editor of Vanity Fair. She's not anymore. That's why we said erstwhile, right? Former. All right, guys. Thank you so much.